This video looks at comparing place values of two different numbers, and we're going to be using these symbols here: greater than, less than, or equal to. They're the important symbols for this. So we've got a selection of numbers here. 3,473. Remember, this is a comma just to separate the thousands and the hundreds. Sometimes this can make it easier for reading larger numbers. Doesn't really make much difference with the thousands, but once we get onto larger numbers, it can become quite a useful tool. And what we're going to do is we're going to pick two numbers at random. So for this first one, I'm going to pick some obvious ones. So we've got 5,900 and I'll pick 4,128. And I want to compare these place values. So I've got myself prepared here a basic sort of chart with place value labels next to one another separated, and that's so I can write each number in with their place value here. So I've got my numbers written in now: 5,900, 4,128. Now, whenever we add or subtract or perform a calculation, we usually start with the ones column. If we were adding up, we'd do that, and then move on to the tens, hundreds, and thousands. When we are comparing two numbers, we need to do the opposite. We start with the biggest place value unit, and then we make our way down. So we'd start by comparing the thousands columns in the two numbers. In this one, the thousands column has a 5 in it, so 5 thousands, and in this one, it has 4 thousands. So we can already see that this number will be bigger than this number, because this one has 5 in the thousands, this one only has 4. So in order to then complete the sentence and get myself, this number is obviously greater than this number. So I write in my greater than symbol. Sometimes when we're looking at this, we'll refer to it as a crocodile and he'll want to eat the big number. I've heard that used plenty of times. It's a greater than symbol. We should really call it what it is. 5,900 is greater than 4,128. Now, let's pick some numbers that are not quite so obvious. Here we now have two numbers: 3,473, 3,463. And we start again, we're comparing, so we're going to start with the thousands column. Now, in this number, we've got 3 in the thousands, and in this number, we've got 3 in the thousands. So at this point, they look like they're equal, so we'll move down to the hundreds. We've got 4 in the hundreds column and 4 in the hundreds column. So again, these numbers are comparing like they're equal. So we move down again to the tens column. This number has 7 in the tens. This number has 6 in the tens. I don't need to look any further down because I already know now that this number is greater than this number. 3,473 is greater than 3,463. If I'd written them the other way around, like this, 3,463, 3,473, I still do the same process, so I'm comparing the thousands first, still equal there, hundreds next, still equal, 6 tens and 7 tens. So in this case, my sentence has a less than. And if we read it as a sentence now, 3,463 is less than 3,473. And that's how we do it. So the easiest way is to actually write out your place values, write them there, and then systematically, starting with the biggest place value, compare and work your way down the list until you find that they are either greater than or less than, or you might find, when you write them all out, that they are equal, but hopefully you'd spot that before you wrote them all out anyway. And that's it. That's how you compare two numbers using place value.